Here we are in Nairobi Museum, and David, one of the curators, is going to tell us one of the most fascinating stories ever to come out of Kenya. So David, could you please tell us this story?
Yeah, at the moment we are inside the coach where actually Charles Ryle, a superintendent of police, was dragged by a man-eating lion from this coach. What happened is that the train was coming from Mombasa, and the train stopped at Kima station. The station master there asked Charles Ryle whether he can help kill the lion. He said yes. So other fellows also offered to assist him. And the coach was detached from the main train and shunted to a siding line so that they can wait there. The lions will come by midnight. So we had two other fellows who offered to help him. One of them was a German. His name was Hopner. The other one was Italian. His name was Parenti. So Hopner sat here with a gun, waiting for the lion, as Charles Ryle was sleeping on one of the beds, and even Parenti was also sleeping on the other bed. So they intentionally left the door open and the window open, hoping to act like life bait, so that the lion would be lured into coming inside to take them and then shoot it. So in this case, Hopner waited for the lion throughout the night until midnight. The lion did not come. So he asked Charles Ryle to wake up and take his shift of guarding while he retired to sleep. Hopner, out of his own choice, he preferred to sleep on the floor of the carriage, and now Ryle woke up and stood outside at the gate there, which is the door is open, and to see whether all is well. He saw there is no danger. Then he came and sat inside the coach, and he gazed through the window to see whether, in the darkness, to see whether all is well. And that's where he saw two reflections, the eyes, which are eyes of maybe a lion. But he said those are not eyes of a lion, they are maybe eyes of playing rats, to dismiss them as eyes of playing rats. Then he sat down next to the window and started dozing. This time this man is asleep, the other one is asleep, and the Italian is also asleep. The door is open, the window is open, and he even fell asleep. The gun fell from his hands. Now he even started snoring. That attracted the lion. What he had seen as a rat was actually the lion. It was attracted and came sniffing around. Where is that from? And it came following the scent of the smell. And when it reached the coach, the lion started licking its lips. All of a sudden they found the door open and quickly jumped inside. When the lion jumped inside, the door closed behind it because it tilted the carriage. Now it went straight killing Ryle by breaking his neck, and while the lion was killing Ryle, it was actually standing on Hopner with hind legs because he had slept on the floor of the carriage. So Hopner thought maybe his colleague is standing on him, and he would say, "Please don't stand on me, please don't stand on me." But then that would not heed. He woke up and asked, "Can you remove your feet over me?" And as he was pointing, he saw that it's a lion, and he fainted. That made the Italian to wake up and decide to get out of this coach. Because that door was shut, he decided to get out of the exit door on the other side. And as he was rushing to get out, the Indians who were in the station, they had seen the lion coming in the coach. And because they believed most of the lions are fond of eating them, one of them, who was a Sikh, he removed his turban, and you know a turban is about 6 meters length. He came dragging the whole length of the turban and tied the door, and he closed the door and tied it so that the lion cannot come out to eat them. So as the Italian was getting out, he found the door was closed, and he struggled to make it open. It was not possible. He retreated and came back to the bathroom here and locked himself up, and he was safe. The lion eventually jumped out of the window, breaking down all the woodwork. Maybe you can see. He jumped out of the window and breaking down all of the woodwork. And from outside, the lion all of a sudden came, brought his mouth and pulled the body of Rar out, and then disappeared with it in the darkness. That is actually the true story of what happened. The German, later on, he was treated for shock, and the Italian opened up his door when it was safe. Only one man lost his life, and that's Charles Fryer. That's actually the true story, those looking like Hollywood horror stories.
And how many native Indians were actually killed by these lions?
Actually, when the Indians who are building the railways, they were about 2,000 Indians who are brought in to build the railway. 6,000 of them were invalidated, and 2,490 were killed by diseases, epidemics, and malaria, and most of them also were trampled on by elephants, knocked down by buffaloes, and speared by hostile tribes, and up to 145 of them were killed by lions that changed themselves into man eaters. The lions became man eaters actually when the lions died, when the Indians who are building the railway died out of malaria, and their bodies were. An African man was asked by White House, who was the chief engineer of the railway, to help dispose the bodies, and he took the bodies into the bush and abandoned them there for wild animals to come and eat. There happened to be also rinderpest. That is now 1897 at Voi on the way to Mombasa, on the way from Mombasa to Nairobi. So the epidemic actually wiped out much of the wild game, such as wild beasts, antelopes, giraffes, and buffaloes. So there are also elephants there, and because the lions did not have anything to, because also lions were there, lions did not have anything to eat, and they went hungry. So the little antelopes that survived, they would fight for them, and because when they fight for them, they destroyed their canines, so they became ineffective in hunting because they had destroyed canines. So when the lions were roaming the bush, they came into contact with the bodies of the dead Indians, and they started testing them, and because they were starving, they ate them, changing themselves into man-eaters. That's how they became man-eaters. They started following Indian construction workers and eating them every day, and at a place known as Tsavo River Bridge, they ate many of them, up to 145.
That's an amazing story, David, and I thank you very much. And anyone that's in Nairobi in Kenya, come along to the museum and ask for David, and he can show you around the place. Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you very much.